Well, how well Oklahoma students stack up in an increasingly competitive world is a concern for our next guest, a longtime educator, university president, and now state senator, Jim Halligan joins me now in studio. Well, you've recently sponsored legislation that I do want to talk about, but before we get to that, looking at the piece that we just saw that talks about how we stack up worldwide when it comes to those hard sciences, are we doing enough here in our state?
No. I don't think we're doing enough as a nation, so it is not just a criticism of Oklahoma. But I don't think there's any question when you see, particularly Ann and I have had the opportunity to visit, I guess, 18 foreign countries, had a Fulbright in Germany recently and saw what they do there, taught in Thailand, taught in Bulgaria. There's no question that the United States has to do better in terms of educating our young people so that we can be competitive in the world.
And in particular, we're talking about mathematics.
I think math is the principal science that you need. There's a great correlation that shows if you do well in math, you're going to do well also in physics and chemistry and biology. It's a foundation science. There's no question that we need to do better in Oklahoma and in the United States with respect to educating our young people in mathematics.
Now, you've sponsored legislation. How is it doing, and what does it say?
Well, it is simply known as the bill which requires 4 units of mathematics in high school. Right now, you have to take 3 units of mathematics, okay, in high school. And I participated in an interim study called the ACE, Achieving Classroom Excellence interim study. We met during the summer, then Ann and I went to a meeting in San Antonio, listened to lots of experts, senators from other states, et cetera. And when you boiled it all down, if you said, there's lots of things we need to address, so there's no question about that. But what, in your judgment, is the #1 issue that we need to address? It is more mathematics in our schools. That's what we need. We need lots of other things, but that's the first thing we ought to attack. That's what this bill does. It says we're going to go from 3 to 4 units of mathematics in high schools. All students must have that to graduate. Now, several concerns come up right away. First of all, you should say, of 100 students who enter the 9th grade in Oklahoma, 77 graduate, 36 go on to college, 23 are still in college after the first year. So you say, what happened? 36 went into college, 23 after 1 year? The primary reason is they have to have remediation, and almost exclusively that remediation must be in mathematics. So they took mathematics in high school. Then when they get to college, they say your math preparation is not adequate. You got to go back and do it over again. So we need to do a better job of doing it right when they're in high school.
We could not be in a tighter budget situation as a state. Can we afford this?
You sort of have to ask yourself, can we afford not to? But you also have to see my bill. These things all take time to phase in, all right? So my bill would be effective for the 9th graders who will enroll next fall. So they will have effectively 4 years from now in order to meet that requirement for graduation. I am fully confident that our economy will be much better in 4 years. So we ought to be planning now. What we need to do is increase the per capita income in Oklahoma. That's what we got to do. All the correlations national are, if you educate your people, if they have good skill sets, you're going to be able to get better jobs. Your per capita income is going to go up. If your per capita income goes up, you're going to pay more taxes, and lots of things that I'd like to do, such as supporting career tech, that I'm a big advocate for, we'd be able to do. We're having a very difficult time now. We became very, very dependent as a state, once again, on natural resources. It's easy to do, all right? But during this time of testing, we have to say, what are we going to do to make it better when we come out of this? And we will come out of this. So my bill really begins to have an impact 4 years from now when students want to graduate.
So if education is economic development, what about those students that may not be heading off to a 4-year institution?
Our studies, the simple thing that they said was, college ready and career ready are the same thing. We had people who are electricians, plumbers, people who work with architects, all kinds of crafts came to talk to us. And what they said was, our people need to have better mathematical skills. That's what they need. So, and you and I both know the manual part of jobs we have done by machines. What we need are people who can successfully operate those machines, who can repair those machines, and who can construct those machines. That's what we need. So in our society, there's no question in my mind that we just have to have the courage to step forward and say, you need to take more math.
We've talked about disadvantaged schools. How could this impact maybe rural schools where they simply do not have the teachers?
Distance education, taking it online. One of the big developments, particularly in higher education with my grandchildren, my granddaughters, et cetera, they take lots of courses online. You can take almost any course you want online. Of course, we have a whole initiative too. This is sort of being rolled out with another initiative, all right? That 4 years from now, when they get there and they need this opportunity, in fact, 2.5 years from now, 3 years from now, there'll be a virtual school in Oklahoma. And in essence, that means if you're in a small town, all right, Godibo is the one that people always use, all right? If you're in Godibo and you want to take an online course, you'll be able to do it, and there'll be a standard metric that is used such that your credit is accepted in the state of Oklahoma. So if you want to take those courses and they're not taught in your high school, you can take them online.
And increasingly, we are seeing the hard sciences introduced into certain classes, almost like an application. They're learning the hard sciences by doing the hard sciences.
And I am fully supportive of the fact that there are some students that are smarter with it. There's hand smart, what I call hand smart. Halligan can take things apart, but he can't put them back together, all right? So they should be able to take these courses, a mathematics course at a career tech, all right, where the rigor is built into a topic such that they would understand both the topic and the mathematics associated with it. So what we need to do while they're in high school, let's get those skills for them so they can go out and be successful. This is essential for the welfare of the United States.
Thank you, Senator Halligan.